my drawing skills aren't good enough. Every day, we hear this from aspiring mangakas. But with the new year around the corner, it's time to ditch that mindset and join hundreds who've turned doubt into progress. We've helped over 400 beginner mangakas break through that doubt and chase their manga dreams. They've gained the right skills, the right mindset, the right community, and mentorship from pro mangakas to ultimately create and publish their own manga. So, are you ready to level up your manga skills this 2025? Let's dive into the 3 most common manga drawing mistakes that beginners make, and let's learn how you can overcome them. Have you been struggling to create your first manga for years? If you're ready to finally bring your stories to life this 2025, then we invite you to apply to our online one-shot manga drawing program. This is your chance to learn directly from pro Japanese mangakas and published manga artists through weekly live Zoom training sessions. Plus, you'll be in a supportive community of fellow aspiring mangakas who are working towards the same goals. You can book a free manga consultation call with us to see if we're a good fit to work together. The link is in the description. When you draw your characters, do they kind of look like they're just standing there? They look a bit stiff, and maybe if you try to show some movement, it looks a little bit unnatural. You see, beginners commonly struggle with drawing anatomy and figuring out how bodies move. They don't know how the body is structured, which muscles move, and how joints actually bend. So, it's hard to create realistic, fluid poses. Most of the time, you just end up with characters that are looking stiff and awkward. But a character is standing straight with arms at their sides. Or maybe even just bust shots so they don't even have to draw the whole body. Some part of them is afraid to mess up, so they just take these shortcuts. But without natural body language, your characters fail to convey the emotion or action you intended. In manga, poses are a critical part of storytelling. A dynamic pose can show movement, tension, drama, but a stiff pose can make the story less engaging. When characters are always standing still or using the same generic poses, your panels can feel repetitive and boring. Now, I want you to look at your art and tell me, are you guilty of making stiff, static poses? If you said yes, then you need to focus on developing a strong foundation in anatomy, gesture, and movement. First, break down anatomy using simple shapes. Have you ever tried drawing body parts before? A lot of beginners try to do their own anatomy studies and practice drawing different body parts, but usually their first drawings come out looking like this or this. And now you might be wondering, well, what's wrong with that? It looks pretty decent. Well, it's too detailed. When beginners start studying anatomy, a common mistake they make is to draw too much detail, like adding shadows and wrinkles. If you're a beginner, you actually shouldn't do that. This is one of the pitfalls that come with copying. Sometimes beginners just copy what's right in front of them without actually studying it or understanding why it looks like that. The key is to break anatomy down into simple shapes first. Once you've mastered this, then you can add all the extra details. So for example, for the torso, think of it as 2 simple shapes: a box for the chest and a cylinder or inverted trapezoid for the pelvis. This creates a solid foundation for your upper body. For your arms and legs, use cylinders or long stretched ovals to represent them. Break them into 2 sections for the upper and lower parts. At the joints, aka your shoulders, elbows, knees, ankles, use circles to mark where they bend. This is one of the first things we teach our students, and it's one of the basic things all beginners need to master. Pro tip: the key to mastering drawing anatomy is consistent practice. Draw heads, limbs, torsos over and over again until it becomes muscle memory. Beginners are always in a rush to get better, but you know what they say? It takes 10,000 hours to master a skill. So if you want to master drawing manga, then you gotta be patient and go through the same drills, the same kind of drawing practice again and again, even if it's boring, even if it's not exciting. That's how you grow and actually become better. Ultimately, understanding the human body structure is key to drawing fluid and believable poses. We actually have another video on how you can get better at drawing full body characters for your manga, so make sure to check it out. We'll put the link in the description. I'll let you in on a little secret. There's a way to make your anatomy studies even easier. Use references. As a beginner, you can't rely on your memory alone to draw. So many people have this misconception that using references means you're not a good artist. Funny enough, the people that we've heard this from are either beginners themselves or people who don't draw. So why would you want to take advice from people who don't know what they're talking about? We've worked with professional mangakas, webtoon artists, animators, illustrators, and all of them encourage the use of references. If you practice enough, then it becomes a part of your muscle memory, and all those references also become a part of your visual library. Your visual library is basically a collection of all the images you've stored in your brain. If you've drawn your favorite character countless times, then their image in your visual library is clear, and it would be easier for you to draw them from memory. However, let's say I ask you to draw two characters hugging. If you've barely done this before, then it's harder for you to draw out the details. You haven't trained your visual library enough to recall those details from memory. Those are the moments when you really need a reference. So use photos, videos, or even your own body as a reference to understand how people move. For dynamic poses, try pausing action scenes from movies or anime to study the positioning of limbs, balance, and weight distribution. A good pose considers how weight is distributed. To do this, you have to consider your center of gravity. The center of gravity is this invisible spot where the weight of your character is balanced. For example, if you hold up a basketball at the tip of your finger, the center of gravity is the point where it wouldn't tip over. If your character is standing up straight, their center of gravity is usually right in the middle of their body, near their belly. If a character is leaning to one side, their body should naturally shift to balance. Pay attention to how feet, hips, and shoulders align to create believable stances. Study how people walk, sit, or interact in the real world. Watch dancers, athletes, or even everyday people to understand how the body moves naturally. The more you observe, the easier it will be to translate those movements into your art. A great way to practice drawing anatomy and poses using references is to practice gesture drawing. Do you sometimes feel like your drawings still turn out a bit stiff even if you try to be as accurate as possible with your reference? There's a way to get over this. You have to train yourself to draw poses loosely, which you can do with gesture drawing. Gesture drawing focuses on capturing the overall movement of energy of a pose rather than the details. It's an exercise that kind of forces you to draw quickly and loosely in order to provide a solid foundation for drawing in your final lines. You can spend 5 to 10 minutes on gesture drawing as a warm-up for your drawing sessions. Use reference images and just spend 30 to 60 seconds per pose. Remember, don't add too much details. Just focus on the flow and dynamics of the body. You can do this exercise and time yourself on websites like Quick Poses or Line of Action. They provide timed reference images that's perfect for gesture drawing. To learn how you can do gesture drawing more effectively, you can check out our video on how to draw dynamic poses here, and we'll also put the link in the description. Now that you know how to fix your stiff poses, you need to place your characters in a scene. Meaning, you need to know how to set the stage and show what's happening in different angles. This requires incorporating a sense of depth to your scenes. The problem is that a lot of beginners make this second most common mistake. Their drawings lack depth. What do I mean by that? Well, you know when your character looks like they're just floating on the page or like stuck in a white flat space on a panel? You don't know exactly where they are or how they're interacting with their surroundings. First, there's just too much negative space that serves no purpose. And second, these beginners fail to draw the scene properly in perspective. Perspective is all about creating the illusion of 3D space on a 2D surface. It helps you position your characters and objects in a way that feels realistic and believable. Plus, it's crucial for drawing scenes from interesting angles like dramatic low or high shots. Without perspective, it's hard to draw proportions correctly, place shadows where they belong, or create dynamic scenes from different angles. So, practice drawing with basic perspective grids and try drawing objects in 3D shapes to improve this. These are the key things about perspective drawing you'll need to know to start off. First is your horizon line. This represents the viewer's eye level. Think of it as the line where the sky meets the ground. Second is your vanishing point. This is a point on the horizon where all lines converge, making objects appear smaller as they move away. The key is to start small. Practice drawing cubes, cylinders, and spheres in perspective. Once you're comfortable with that, then you can move on to simple environments. And then you can move on to drawing your characters in perspective. When we had our Yonkoma Manga challenge, our coaches showed us one quick simple fix to create more depth. And that was to simply shrink and adjust your characters a bit so they look like they're farther away from the camera. This is only one of the many ways you can add depth to your scenes. To better understand perspective and more ways to add depth, you can check out our other more in-depth videos on the topic here. Again, we'll also put the links in the description. Finally, let's talk about the third most common beginner mistake: messy line work. If your line art feels shaky, inconsistent, or rushed, it can make your entire piece look unfinished. Beginners often second-guess themselves while inking or outlining, leading to wobbly, hesitant lines. This can happen when they don't feel confident in their strokes or they worry about making mistakes. So instead of creating a single, continuous, confident line, beginners draw multiple short, overlapping strokes. This can make the line look thick and inconsistent, especially in areas meant to be clean and precise. This often leads to uneven line weight or thickness, as in some areas may look too heavy or light, which disrupts the whole balance of the drawing. For example, parts of a character's body might have thick, bold lines on one side and thin, faint lines on the other. There are some beginners who may not think line work is as important, but good line art can actually make a huge difference and make your work look more polished. If you want to improve your line art and make more consistent, confident strokes, here's what you can do. First, practice. Practice drawing straight lines, curves, circles, and ellipses daily. These simple drills will improve your control and confidence. It'll train your hand to move steadily and confidently. It's all about that muscle memory. Second, take your time and start light. Instead of trying to get everything perfect in one go, start with light sketch lines. Use this as a guide for your final line work, which should be more deliberate and confident. When it's time for the final pass, use smooth, confident strokes. If a line doesn't come out right, undo it and try again. Third, experiment with line weight. Having different line weight will make your illustration look more dynamic. Here's an example from our student Takari. You could see that she used uniform lines all throughout. Our pro mentor, Steph Pastrano, suggested to use thinner, more delicate lines for the smaller details like clothing folds. Takari redid her line art and it looks so much more balanced. As a general rule of thumb, use thicker lines for the silhouette of your character. It'll help them stand out against the background. Use thinner lines for more delicate details like hair and clothing folds. Are you ready to overcome these common beginner mangaka mistakes and finally make a manga that you feel proud of? If you've been struggling to make your own manga for years and you want to publish your first one-shot manga this 2025, then we invite you to join our online one-shot manga drawing program. You'll be with a community of passionate, aspiring fellow mangakas, and you'll all be under the mentorship of pro-Japanese mangakas and published manga artists who will also be acting as your editors. We'll have weekly live Zoom training sessions where you can ask them questions and get direct feedback on your work. Let 2025 be the year you share your manga with the world. You can book a free manga consultation call with us to see if we're a good fit to work together. The link is in the description.